Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, the Victoria Regional Airport returned to its normal operations after a threat Thursday. The details are just ahead. And an investigation opens after a child was found wandering near a busy road in Victoria. Plus another rocket explosion over Florida. The cause, that's coming up.
And we're looking at a bit of a warm weekend coming our way over the next 24-48 hours, with some of us in South Texas possibly reaching the 90s. But in the background, it is also going to be dry, bringing us more fire weather. Alert days already up. All that in the weather coming up.
In Cuero women's basketball, as multiple players get all district awards yesterday. I'll let you know which players won coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Friday.
That's right. Happy Friday, y'all. We made it to the end of another week, and it's still springtime, so I hope y'all been enjoying the beautiful weather we've had all week long.
Yes, it's time to go shopping for the green clothing because St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner. You don't want to be pinched on St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. Definitely don't. And maybe go get some nice colorful clothing, because maybe you want to match the flowers because they are blooming, and that's exactly what Carolina's wearing. You'll see that again here on the screen in just a couple of minutes, because right now, if you're tuning in with us this morning, you look alive in Victoria. You got a nice pretty sunrise on your screen. Got lots of colors out there too. Pink. We've got some pink, yellow, blue, purple even. Lots of pretty colors out there this morning. And if you're going to go head out the door and see that sunrise, or if you head out the door for early morning errands, maybe grab like a light jacket right now. Sitting that right about 60 flat for the air temperature in Victoria. Dew point is now 1 degree off at a high 59 degrees. Why is that? Because the winds, they have come back out of the south and out of the Gulf. So right now they're sustained at about 5 to 8 miles an hour. Pretty light right now, so no need to worry about any breezy winds, and don't need to worry about any fog out there. It is technically high enough to see fog, but we just returned the winds on the south, so there's a little bit of mixing. So just don't need to worry about fog this morning. But temperatures, you can see a tad bit chilly across the state. You see in the 40s in the Panhandle, where we're going to have that front that's coming away tomorrow night. We'll look at that later on Sunrise. Everybody on the Crossroads, though, starting out in the low 60s and upper 50s. So if you're sending your kiddos out the door this morning, or if you're about to head out the door, grab that light jacket, like I said, but you'll surely take it off in the afternoon with us in the 80s. We'll look at that coming up next.
The Victoria Regional Airport is back open after a bomb threat was received through email Thursday afternoon. The Victoria County Sheriff's Office, the County Fire Marshal, Texas DPS, and other agencies were all on scene helping with the investigation. A statement from the Victoria County Public Safety Communications Coordinator says there are no reported injuries and no arrests made, and no devices were found. The airport returned to normal operations after the area was cleared. A small plane made an emergency landing in a field off Fox Road Thursday afternoon. Victoria County Sheriff's Office deputies rushed to the scene. It happened around 1 p.m. The 21-year-old pilot landed safely in an open field, and no one was hurt. State Representative A.J. Louderback is taking action to crack down on bad behavior at youth sporting events. He filed House Bill 3369 to close loopholes that prevent school officials and UIL referees from ejecting disruptive spectators. Right now, refs often have to issue warnings before removing someone, but this bill would change that, giving them the power to kick out unruly fans immediately. If passed, the law would take effect this upcoming school year, ensuring officials can keep the focus on the game and not the sidelines. Victoria Police and Child Protective Services are investigating after a passerby found a child wandering a busy street. This video was taken shortly before 1 Thursday afternoon on Mockingbird just off Navarro. A driver stopped in the road to get the child out of harm's way. Other Good Samaritans were unable to find her caregivers. Victoria Police say they received a call of an unattended child in that area around 10 o'clock yesterday morning. A joint investigation is ongoing with VPD and CPS. Some Canadian stakeholders say they're shifting away from doing business with the U.S. in light of tariff threats. President Donald Trump is delaying 25% tariffs on many imports from Canada and Mexico. Their governments, in turn, are backing off some reciprocal measures, but many Canadians say trust is already broken. Some Canadian businesses say they're trying to rely on more domestic producers. On the consumer level, several boycotts are underway. The online directory Made in Canada reports a surge in web traffic. We'll go to Washington for more later. And now a new setback for the Elon Musk company SpaceX and the most powerful rocket ever built. Another Starship rocket has exploded mid-flight, sending debris raining down from the sky, once again disrupting air travel in Florida.
This morning, SpaceX hit with another setback in its mission to one day send astronauts to the moon. Another massive rocket exploding minutes after launch last night. The flaming debris streaking across the sky, visible from South Florida
Oh my gosh, it does.
to the Bahamas.
What in the world did that come from?
The 403-foot Starship rocket launched from Texas just before sunset. SpaceX caught the first stage booster back at the pad with those giant mechanical arms. But 90 miles above the Earth, engines on the unmanned rocket began shutting down before spinning out of control and exploding.
We saw a very sudden big explosion, a huge ball of, both kind of a fireball, but then around it, kind of that expansive jellyfish expanding really quickly.
The FAA ordered ground stops at airports from Orlando to Miami, concerned about debris.
Unfortunately, this happened last time too, so we've got some practice at this now.
In January, a similar explosion sent flaming debris raining down over Turks and Caicos.
That is amazing.
During that failed launch, leaking fuel triggered a series of fires that shut down the engines, the onboard self-destruct system then kicking in as planned.
This won't necessarily impede their work that they're doing. What really needs to be seen are the corrective actions that need to be put in place to make sure that the public remains safe.
NASA has booked the Starship to land its astronauts on the moon later this decade. Responding to this latest setback, SpaceX saying, as always, success comes from what we learn, adding the explosion will offer additional lessons. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
President Donald Trump has signed an executive order creating the strategic Bitcoin reserve and U.S. digital stockpile. The White House says the reserve will be funded exclusively with Bitcoin seized in criminal and civil forfeiture cases, ensuring that taxpayers bear no financial burden. Sachs says the reserve is like a digital Fort Knox for the cryptocurrency often called digital gold. The order mandates a comprehensive accounting of federal digital asset holdings and prohibits the sale of Bitcoin from the reserve. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, looking at our clock up here at 6:38 on our Friday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. Something new is coming to the ballot in May, what the changes could mean after the break.
President Trump temporarily pauses some tariffs on Canada and Mexico. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with details and the potential impact on business owners across the country.
And also coming up next after the break, in the short-term forecast for today, the humidity is back. It'll be humid and warm out there, but then that dry line gets here tomorrow and it is going to be dry, dry, dry. How dry? Well, we'll talk about that coming up next.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads. We learn about a play that's coming to the VISD Fine Arts Center. We hear from board candidates, part of the VISD election, and we also learn about an upcoming job fair.
We look forward to seeing really anyone who shows up, as far as teachers or even people who are not necessarily in education right now.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking live and chill, a little bit cool out there in Clear Square right now, starting out the day at about 59 degrees. So I'd say that's a little bit cool. Anytime we're in the 50s, I think that's cool. But Dew Point, that's all the way back up at 57 degrees in Quero right now, and you're bringing humidity to that high 94%. But like I was saying earlier, we do have just a tad bit of mixing because the winds have just recently shifted out of the Gulf. So I'm not really expecting any kind of fog this morning. So no need to worry about that, because what I want y'all to be worried about, not worried about, more prepared. So about this weekend is this. We have an alert day in effect for tomorrow, Saturday, mainly going to be for tomorrow, Saturday afternoon, when that dry line passes. And that dry line is going to bring us some wind gusts as strong as 25, possibly up to 30 miles an hour at times or so in the afternoon time. But humidity, that's our main concern, with humidity values dropping as low as 10 to 20%, which is very dangerous fuel for any kind of wildfires that could spark up tomorrow. In fact, looking at your humidity here on your screen as we go into tomorrow, you can see humidity today. Going to be a bit humid this afternoon. afternoon, but that is going to be very humid tonight with values ranging between 90 to 100% tonight. And y'all know what that means. That means fog is possible once again tonight. So make sure that y'all be careful with that. We'll look at that here in a second, because going into tomorrow, here comes that dry line at about the early afternoon time. We're looking at humidity values plummeting, like I said, to the 10-20% range. And tonight we're looking at fog as possible early as 9 p.m. tonight. And we could see some dense visibility tonight. So make sure to be careful if y'all will be traveling. But like I said, after that dry line passes, we're going to have a cool front that comes right after that. That'll drop our temperatures back into the 60s and 70s next week, and another possible alert day next week. All of that coming up next.
All right, happy Friday here at Crossroads, and what a year for the Lady Gobblers this game. Made it all the way to the state championship game, and yesterday they got released their all-district awards, and first giving out the District 28 4A MVP to Rissa Carbonara, both co-defensive MVPs with Moriana Da Silva, and then last week's Athlete of the Week there and Aubrey Bowles. Then first team all-district awards went to Kayleen Comiskey and Jada Cooper, and finally Kiara Denson and Emery Da Silva getting second team all-district, with senior Kendra Brohl getting honorable mention there as well. Also some players that I all mentioned there got academic all-district as well, including Avery Orozco and Leila Mendola as well. So congrats there, like I mentioned, for the Lady Gobblers reaching their first ever state championship, getting multiple players winning all-district awards. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. This morning, chaos and confusion for many business owners as uncertainty continues surrounding President Trump's new tariffs. For the second time in a month, the president is suspending tariffs on Mexico and Canada until April.
This morning, another reversal from President Trump, putting a pause on many of the tariffs he imposed on Mexico and Canada, granting a temporary exemption for goods covered by the North American Trade Agreement until April 2nd. The uncertainty sent stocks tumbling and is causing chaos and confusion for many business owners across the country.
We look at tariffs, clearly you need to start thinking about, okay, prices going up just at a time when people want prices going down. It does lead to uncertainty.
Earlier this week, the administration had announced 25% tariffs on goods for Mexico and Canada, as well as 10% tariffs on imports from China, which now makes it 20%. Ada Wilson owns a grocery store in Ohio and imports produce from Mexico.
We have to provide fresh every day. Prices change every day and it's going up. So we're trying to not raise our prices, but it's affecting the business.
Economists caution the tariffs will be paid for by American businesses, which gets passed on to consumers via price hikes.
You could see $10,000 to $15,000 added on to the framing cost of a house easily, because there's so many different items that we do buy from Canada.
Trump making it clear this is only a short-term pause after he granted a one-month pause to the big three American automakers who complained the tariffs would devastate the industry. The president acknowledging these tariffs could temporarily cause prices to rise.
There'll always be a little short-term interruption.
Despite the temporary pause, Canada's tariffs on U.S. goods will remain in place. And starting Monday, the Premier of Ontario plans to implement a 25% tariff on electricity to states, including Michigan, New York, and Minnesota. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there in your screen to take part. We want to know, how would tariffs impact you the most? All right, let's take a look. 7% of you say automotive, 4% of you say materials, 4% of you say energy, 4% of you say machinery and appliances, 4% of you say alcohol, and 77% of you say fruits and vegetables. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The Victoria City Council has put funding for a multi-million-dollar community center expansion in the hands of voters. If approved, the plan would bring funds from hotel and rental car taxes instead of an increase in property tax. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley takes a look at how this project could impact local students and bring bigger crowds.
In May, Victoria voters will decide on a proposed funding measure that could bring major renovations to the Victoria Community Center without raising property taxes. The city is planning a $35 million upgrade that could attract larger crowds for rodeos, concerts, and dance events. The Victoria Livestock Show is held at the community center each year. Treasurer Shelley Marbach says this expansion is badly needed.
There's really no room without the expansion. We're already spread over 3 weekends already as it is because we don't have the room to do everything that we want to do.
The plan includes 1,500 more seats, a new exhibition hall for additional vendors, and a show barn to accommodate more animals. Marbach says those improvements will help students market their projects and fund scholarships for graduating seniors.
With this expansion, we could add a rodeo into our stock show, which would be something that a lot of us committee members would love to see our show grow to.
Ray Mosley, KVU TV, 25 News Now.
The time is now 6:47 on our Friday morning. So to come on Sunrise, Russian airstrikes damage infrastructure and starts fires.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. Taking a look at your fire weather safety tips for the week in time. Why am I showing you this? Because, like I said earlier, we have an alert day in effect for tomorrow, Saturday, where we are expecting some more very dry and slightly breezy fire weather conditions. Take a look at the safety tips. You can see we do not want y'all to highly discourage y'all to light any kind of fires out there. That includes campfires, bonfires, candles, and if you must smoke out there today, like if you're smoking a cigarette, make sure to fully extinguish it. We're talking about all the ashes, even the ashes that are flying through the air, a little bit breezy at times. Make sure you do that before you dispose of that in the ashtray or something. Make sure to, like I said, do not light any campfires, bonfires, or candles. Keep your vehicles off dry grass because your catalytic converters, if you didn't know, cause a little bit of sparks while you're driving, and also the metal is very hot as well. You don't want any of that to combust into fire. Remove any excess metal, plastic, or that's dragging underneath your vehicles, and also bag up trash clippings or any other flammable items that you may have in your yard. Now, where is all the fire weather coming from? Like I said, well, this upper level low system that is coming onshore over the western coast and California, that's going to bring us the dry line as we go into tomorrow afternoon, and then it will also bring us a front as we go into tomorrow night. But if we look to the west, we have another system out there, another upper low system that's out in the Pacific that will bring us another dry line, not a cold front this time. This time it's only going to be a dry line. You can see West Texas is going to be very dry, more fire weather over there for Monday and Sunday, but here comes that next system bringing us even lower humidity next week. That's why we'll have a possible alert day, and we'll look at all that and more coming up next.
In world news, Russian forces launched a new wave of mass drone attacks on Ukraine. The attacks in Odessa late Thursday night damaged energy facilities and triggered fires. It comes one day after Russian strikes in Odessa killed 2 people on Wednesday morning. Earlier on Thursday, European leaders agreed to significantly boost defense spending to ensure Europe's security and voiced near unanimous support for Ukraine at a meeting on Thursday. A South Korean court has ordered the release of President Yoon as he awaits an impeachment ruling. Yoon was impeached and indicted on criminal charges for declaring martial law last December. He has been in detention since January on charges of leading an insurrection, which is one of the few crimes the president does not have immunity from. The court ruled that insurrection is outside the jurisdiction of the Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials, which had requested his arrest. The court also questioned whether the indictment was filed after his detention period had expired. Travelers were left stranded after Eurostar trains to and from London and Paris were brought to a halt Friday after the discovery of an unexploded bomb dating back to World War II. The bomb was found near tracks serving the French capital's busy station. Traffic was stopped at the request of police. French Transport says traffic would be disrupted with only limited service resuming in the afternoon. He urged travelers to postpone their trips. Bombs left over from World War I or World War II are regularly discovered around France, but it's rare to find them in an urban location. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Lawmakers vote to censure a fellow member of the House of Representatives. The House has voted to censure Representative Al Green for disrupting President Trump's Tuesday address to Congress. The Republican-controlled body voted on Thursday with 10 Democrats joining all Republicans in voting in favor of the censure resolution. Green voted present. As Speaker Mike Johnson read the censure, Green was joined by members of the Congressional Black Caucus singing, "We Shall Overcome." Mega Millions tickets will be more than double in cost next month. The lottery says the new price will be $5 per play. This is the second time ever that Mega Millions has upped the price, with the first in 2017. The Lotto says it's overhauling the game, including by improving jackpot odds. It says it expects more billion-dollar wins in the future. The American Red Cross needs more volunteers as disasters grow more frequent. Their Shelter Heroes program trains local residents to help with emergency shelters during hurricanes and wildfires. Since July, the Texas Gulf Coast chapter has responded to 1,400 disasters, helping 2,000 families, but they need more hands. To get involved, visit redcross.org/shelterheroes. The Texas legislature has tried to clamp down on renewable energy resources in the past, but many lawmakers are recognizing the need to support all types of generation to meet record demand growth. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at a beautiful sunrise with Parker over at Port Lavaca. How's it going, Parker?
And well, it's looking real nice out there this morning, Carolina. Looking live in Port Lavaca. That's right, you got a pretty sunrise coming over your screen. And actually, if you look real closely, I think we see a little bit of green in colors on your screen right there. If I'm not mistaken, that might be a little bit of green right there in your sky, which is a bit of a rare color with some sunrises. So if you're about to head out the door this morning for any kind of early morning errands, maybe grab like a light jacket right now. It's just a tad bit cool this morning. Port Lavaca is 65 right now, and your dew point 1 degree off from that, bringing that humidity back to the high 95%. But this morning, don't need to worry about any fog because there's a little bit of mixing in the air. But there will be fog tonight, so I want y'all to be careful about that. Travel lightly with the fog tonight. And today, though, it's going to be a beautiful day. So fishers, mariners, and boaters will look for slightly choppy waves 1 to 3 feet high with wind gusts topping up to 20 knots at times. That would equate up to 25 miles an hour times, actually, in the American system. But high tide today is going to be this evening. Low tide is going to be about an hour away from right now, with your water starting to warm back up in the upper 60s. Middle of the Gulf, though, that's still very warm in the mid and upper 70s. But today in Port Lavaca, looking for high of 79 this afternoon in the background. Like I said, beautiful day for fishing. Clouds will be on the decrease all the way down to mostly sunny skies in the afternoon. A little bit earlier, I'm thinking for the cloud decreasing in Victoria and in Cuero, 83 for the high today, Victoria, and a little bit warmer in Cuero, I'm thinking 84. And if you thought that was warm, well, here's tomorrow's temperatures. We're back in the some in the upper 80s, and then next week, upper 80s for all of us, with fire weather possible tomorrow and another one possible again next Wednesday. So make sure y'all please make sure to stay safe.
All right, thank you, Parker, and thank you all for joining us. Be sure to join Sean O'Don, Michael Clovey, and Max tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Have a start to your weekend.